What's up everyone? Welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like and subscribe, then hit the real subscribe button, which is the bell icon. We're posting 4 videos every day, so make sure to check back every single day. We've just hit 20k subscribers, so thank you all so much. Let's get to 30. Check out all the links in the description. Thousands of dollars of free crypto down there, along with signals, COINCALLS, TA, alpha and memes in our private Discord, accessed by signing up to our Patreon. This is not financial advice. Welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Let's begin. So we're just taking a look at Ethereum here, and as we can see, it's had a very decent rollover recently, hasn't it? We were just looking at the Bitcoin chart, and I noticed that Bitcoin's kind of heading down underneath this steady resistance. In a similar way to Ethereum here, Bitcoin's doing this, resistance, 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 resistance. But with Bitcoin, it's just heading down the resistance like this. But with Ethereum, it actually had a really large rollover here, didn't it? Once it lost that 0.78 level here at around $3,600, we rolled all the way down to that 618 down at around $3,060 here, where we did get the bounce. We've put in a bit of a range here, haven't we? Let me just save this in. And you can see, you know, Ethereum right now looking like it is just consolidating, isn't it? As we've seen for a lot of cryptos, we have lost that bull market support that we formed. You can see here for Ethereum, if we just put this on auto, that we had this channel we were heading up inside of. Support, 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 support. We come back down to support here, and then we come back down to support here, but then we finally lost that support, didn't we? So a little bit of a concern. And potentially, you know, something to look at if you're a bear and you think the bull market is over, that we have lost that bull market support, the channel we've been heading up in since March 2020. Basically for the past 2 years, we've essentially just been heading to the upside inside of this big channel. You can see here, we've got to the top of the channel here, maximum greed at $4,300. Huge correction in this big, you know, descending wedge. We've got the breakout, the back test. We ran up again, up towards, you know, a new all-time high here, where we got up to around $4,000, almost $5,000 for Ethereum, which is absolutely crazy, isn't it? And you can, you know, it's pretty clear here. You just got these nice, this ABC wave to the upside. And then obviously with the market starting to bleed, we're doing something like this for Ethereum, slowly bleeding. And then when we lost that fib level, back down here, as we said, we've broken out of our bull market support, back tested as resistance, rolled all the way down to the 618. Down here at around that $3,000 level, we had that overextension to $2,900 on that wick. And you can see now, you know, we may be forming potentially a bump and run pattern here. As we've said before, we don't think the bull market is over by any stretch of the imagination. We are potentially seeing an extended cycle kind of theory, where we could see the bull market continue for most of 2022. You know, Bitcoin's been having an extended bearish period again, just like it did in May, June, July. And, you know, November, December, January is basically now 3 months, isn't it, of you know, that bearish kind of rolling, slowly bleeding to the downside that we saw, like we did last year. We were kind of having these big moves, and then these, you know, long extended correction periods, another big move, a long extended correction period, and then, you know, potentially we could have another big move to finish off the bull market, going through, you know, the next 6 months, maybe even 12 months of this year, depending on how long things do continue onwards. From what we can tell with Ethereum anyway, it's still looking bullish. Obviously, if you remove this bull market support, looking something like this, and just take a look at the chart without it, you can see here we're still making, you know, macro higher low, higher low. If this is the low here, obviously, if we come up and make another higher high going into that 127 or the 141, upwards of $6,000, $7,000 up here, this is going to look completely fine, isn't it? It's just a case of, you know, having a bit of perspective, looking at all the information that you're given. And one of the main things we've been looking at is obviously this downtrend that we've seen on the RSI. That it's exactly the same as what we saw for Bitcoin back in May, June, July. It had a downtrend on the RSI and the price action, and once the RSI did start to bounce and break out, that's basically when we saw that big move to the upside that we saw for Bitcoin, with that massive liquidation cascade of shorts, leading to that big move to the upside that we saw for Bitcoin, where it came from around 29k to 42k very quickly. And we do think that something similar to this could be on the cards for Ethereum here. And we've seen the same thing for Bitcoin recently as well. This downtrend on the RSI like this, and the downtrend on the price action. And sooner or later, once the RSI starts to get ridiculously oversold like this, it will break out, probably back test, and then come back up towards fair value. And when we're looking at the Ethereum chart in particular, it looks like we could be forming, if that was the case, a potential bump and run pattern here where we've got the resistance, resistance, resistance. We capitulate, consolidate in a range here. And if we do get that move to the upside back to that 0.78 here at around $3,600, if we break this and back test it, we're going to be having potentially that bump and run pattern up towards that 127 extension here at $5,700, aren't we? Now, we're not saying this is going to happen overnight. A lot of people seem to think recently that when we say a crypto is about to bounce, they think it's immediately as they watch the video. But obviously that isn't the case. These things take time to form. And obviously price action, when we're looking at the daily time frame mostly, which is what we do, takes a lot of days to form, doesn't it? It doesn't just happen on the day that we say and go straight to the moon. These things take a while to come together, but we're just giving you all the information available to us that we can see here, and that basically making informed decisions based on, what we've seen in the past of these similar situations. And we've been in this situation before for Ethereum, where the RSI is coming down, it's getting really oversold. And if we look at, past performance of every time that Ethereum was this oversold before, you can obviously see here, in the March 2020 crash, we obviously got really oversold here, and also really, really oversold down here as well. And you can see we had a little bit of an extension here, but a big run up. Obviously the March crash, obviously it's a black swan event, isn't it? You can't predict this, but it had a V-shaped recovery out of this heavily overextended area. If we take a look here, when we got really oversold, we had another nice run to the upside. And you can see here, we're still in a bull market, aren't we, when we look at this chart? Ethereum's been doing really, really well recently. Over the past year or so, huge run up, obviously, correction, run up, correction, and then obviously we're looking for that fifth wave, basically, aren't we, to the upside to mark the end of the bull run, which will be a doozy if it's anything like this one. Something like this potentially coming up, into at least into that $10,000 area, we would say, maybe up towards that 227 extension at around $15,000, which would be great for Ethereum, wouldn't it? Around a 5x from the current price would be really great to see. But overall, right now, we're not convinced about this bearishness for Ethereum. It's getting really oversold right now. Obviously, the volume has been dropping off, has been trickling to the downside here, at least in comparison to back here when we were having that huge pump. And in our opinion, we don't think that this kind of bearishness is going to last forever. Most likely, we're probably going to see a nice renaissance to the upside pretty soon for Ethereum. And if that's the case, then obviously, things are going to be looking pretty damn good. So we'll take a look at short-term price predictions then on the hourly time frame. As you can see, we've put in a range recently for consolidation, which we talked about. Put in the double low here and another double top. We test the top again, looking like we've come back down to the middle of the range, waiting to see what Bitcoin does. If we roll over, obviously, we've got this level here. I think it's the 6 on 8, obviously, at around that $3,060 mark with the overextension to 2,000, or the overextension here to, what's this down here? $2,900. The bottom of the range at $3,000. Anywhere in this area, you'd expect a very decent bounce. A lot of confluent support levels there. If we're heading to the upside, we're obviously coming up towards that $3,400 mark at the top of the range. Hopefully breaking that and heading towards the 0.78 at 3,600, as we said. And then we can see ourselves getting back up towards that resistance and hopefully, execute that bump and run pattern where we absolutely explode to the upside pretty damn soon. That would obviously be the ideal scenario. And then, as we said, longer term price predictions. We do think Ethereum, it's gearing up for potentially that last run of the bull market. And we do think, anywhere from $7,500 to $15,000 is entirely reasonable. So that's it, guys. We'd like to thank you all so much for your support. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe and then hit the real subscribe button, which is the bell icon, to stay up to date with the 4 videos we post every single day. Make sure to join the Patreon or YouTube membership to support us, as well as getting a ton of benefits. Crypto Maximalists will get access to daily signals, coin calls, alpha on new projects, and insight into our own personal moves, while Maximalist Gold takes you beyond, giving you a look at our own personal portfolio, super low cap gems, 100x potential portfolio, and constant access to us personally as a resource. We're constantly in the Discord posting daily and chatting to members, and we'll be hosting giveaways soon. So come and join a community rich with value and content. Remember, you can also join our public section of the Discord too, where we post news, technical analysis, daily updates on the markets, larger cap gems, and the occasional meme. There's absolutely no reason not to get involved with all that value. Links are all in the description. Please like and subscribe. We are Crypto Maximalists.